Oh, that Bad Bunny versus Damon Priest? Now that was cool. Hey, me Matt here, and just watched Backlash, and holy shit, this show. And I mean, I saw some reviews on YouTube today already, and there was really nothing negative, which I really am impressed by, because sometimes they do find something, but hey, it's all good. I really think that this show should be the gateway to bring more pay-per-views outside of North America. I really do. And I know I said that before, but it really goes to show you that this could possibly be happening in the future again. It hasn't happened in a very long time, but this was a very good show. Anyways, let's get it on. So we opened the show with Bianca Belair and Io Sky in the Raw Women's Championship match, and these women didn't disappoint. What I think was fascinating for me, anyways, was the crowd got behind Io. I mean, why not? There was a point where Io focused on Bianca's arm, which got damaged in a match. She managed to do a power slam with one arm. Of course, Io landed on her face, but I mean, very much old school tactics to work on a body part that I actually thought was damaged. But yeah, unfortunately, you have damage control coming out looking like the Killer Bees, and they're basically helping Io out, which honestly I thought was bullshit, but that's my opinion. Honestly thought, hey, you know what? It should be one-on-one. And it was for the majority of it. And you know, I think that's kind of what I would rant about, but it's not a huge deal. I don't think it was fair. I think it had to have been what I just said. But, you know, Bianca got hers into and obviously wins the match, retaining the title. I saw the backstage interview after the match, and it didn't look like her arm was hurt at all, which really, well, you kind of think. And I'm pretty sure it was. But this was a good match, for sure. We had Seth Rollins versus Omos. And again, you know, you think about Omos, who is 7'2", who should be built as a fucking giant. So for some reason, you know, you have him lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then you throw this match together, and it was like, okay, alright, you know, I understand. It seems like a good idea. You know, two guys that don't match each other's height. Let's see how this works. And that was pretty cool. I mean, Omos was powerful in the beginning, as expected, as it should have been. But then Seth got control, did a couple curb stomps. That didn't work. There was a super kick at some point. Amos did a choke slam. And then Amos is down. And Seth goes on the top rope for a super curb stomp. And gets the win. So, I mean, and even with MVP in his corner, it was almost like, you would have thought Seth would lose, but it kind of bothers me because you have a guy that should be a believable giant. And I mean, look, Paul White didn't win every match. Andre the Giant, never won every match. But to have Amos lose at WrestleMania and now Backlash, it just doesn't seem like he's that much of a threat. He should be used better, but we'll see what happens with that in the future. Got a match here, the U.S. title, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and Bronson Reed. Now this match was pretty cool. You have Austin and Bronson team up on Bobby. Then of course Bronson turns on Austin, beats him up. There was a combination where it was Bobby who beat up Austin, and then Austin was on the ground. And Bronson went off the top rope, splashed him, but didn't get the win. And somehow, Austin Theory picked it up, retaining the title, which was cool. I didn't want Bobby to win. There's going to be time that Bronson will get the eventual win. So, I think it was Corey who said that Bobby could have a match with Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed title. And it actually seems like that would be a good idea. I don't believe they had a match before, but that would be pretty cool. Make that happen. Because, first of all, I think Roman needs to get rid of those two titles. I think that sucks. They need one. But I'm not sure when that's going to happen. And I think Bobby having a feud with Roman Reigns is actually a good idea. Have this match. You've got the SmackDown Women's title. You've got Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. This match, there's not too many wrestling matches where I get a lump in my throat. Obviously, I think everyone else had an emotional reaction, Zelina coming out, supporting the Puerto Rican flag. She's decked out with the colors, and her uncle, her mother, her brother, just front row and dedicating the match to her father. That's special. They went back and forth, Rhea, is just an amazing wrestler, but it's like Zelina that did the high fly flow. She tried everything, but couldn't get it. Rhea did the Riptide for the win, and it was obvious nobody necessarily wins in their hometown. although Zelina's from Queens, but she does represent Puerto Rico. And yeah, just the standing ovation after the match. There's people who lose a match, but they went over in another way. And people fucking got behind Zelina Vega. You know, that was special. And the emotion on her face from beginning and the end. That is one of those things where you just feel that energy. And like I said, it's very rare for me to have some kind of emotional response to wrestling. But that was one of those things where you felt what she was feeling. That So now you have the San Juan street fight. You've got Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And I mean, it's one of those things too where, you know, it was the right win. I mean, Damian definitely was strong in the beginning, doing the South of Heaven, going for the pin but not getting it. Then, Bad Bunny takes control, actually uses the kendo sticks, the one that Savio Vega gave him before the match. And that didn't seem to work. You have Bad Bunny, who, in the beginning, coming out to the ring with a grocery cart of, the trash can, kendo sticks, the chairs, It's a point where Damian Priest, his nose busted, so he pretends to leave, and Bad Bunny gets out of the ring. He has a lid. Maybe it was a lid. Goes after Damian Priest. Damian turns around and gives him a boot, suckering him in. So he beats him up for a while. Bad Bunny goes down. You have them go to the crowd. They go up on that table, and Damian Priest hits, I can't remember what that movie's called, onto the other table. And now you have Adam Pearce and the staff coming out to check on Bad Bunny. So the match still continues, though. You have Bad Bunny kicking Damian's leg, who eventually gets that you think that there's something wrong. And of course, like I said, pick a body part. So Bad Bunny works on Damian Priest's leg, even going on the outside and slamming it on the turnbuckle. There was a point where Damian was like, no, classic heel move. But then, suckered in Bad Bunny once again. So that was cool. And then Damian gets up, hobbling on one leg. Bad Bunny, he decides that he's gonna give Damian Priest a low blow. Which, we all know that Damian remembered to wear a fucking cup! So, this was cool. And then you have the Judgment Day, Finn Balor coming out with Dominic. And they beat up Bad Bunny, which calls for Carlito. Yes, Carlito Colon comes back. And just the people erupting for their Puerto Rican hero. And I mean, he showed up at the Royal Rumble, and I believe apparently he had a match or two on Raw, which I don't remember. But he's still pretty stacked. He's still very good at knowing. He had his apple. You have Damian Priest and the Judgment Day leave. They're going to leave. And then out comes the LWO with Salvio Vega. Finn Balor gets his ass kicked by Salvio Vega, which I thought was cool. The guy still has it, obviously. You know, revert your attention back to the ring. And, you know, Bad Bunny putting Damian in a figure four. And then there was a point where he got the roll up and the win. And you have Carlito, the LWO, and Salvio Vega celebrating with him in the ring. You know, well, Rey Mysterio as well. And this was another real good moment. So, I mean, this was a really good match. And so far, a really good The six-man tag team match got the Bloodline, who defeated Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And for some reason, I'm starting to think that the Bloodline are imploding. I mean, you have the three brothers that can't get along. You know, you almost had Solo put the spike on Jay, and that didn't seem to work. That this match was pretty good too. The Bloodline won, and I mean, it wasn't like you see a match like Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and it's almost like you take some of the wind out of people's sails. People get tired because of how fun the show was. But unfortunately, it was almost like, okay, follow that. I'm not saying it was a terrible match, it just was kind of... You know, then you have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Now Brock Lesnar comes out, you have Cody throwing his steps at him, then a chair, you know, trying to get the offense. You know, Brock hits a couple German suplexes. Well, one of them, you have Cody tearing the top turnbuckle pad off, exposing the turnbuckle, obviously. And then we have the point where Brock gets thrown in to the turnbuckle and bleeds. And, yeah, you know, that was, you know, a rare moment to see something like that, but you have Cody hit 2 crossroads for the win. You know, he got the hell out of the ring, obviously, but... And again, it was like, it was a quick match, but... You know, you look at Seth Rollins and Omos, and it was like, there was really nothing to work with too much. Just because, yeah, Cody made a couple of good speeches on Raw about beating Brock Lesnar. And so that happened. And again, surprised because I know that we both picked Brock Lesnar, Kyle and I. So, all in all, this was a very good show. I really enjoyed it. And I know Kyle must have enjoyed it too. So, yeah, very awesome, and I'll talk to you later. Adios.
So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But, you know, I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews, like